like you to share? Tell me what's going on with you. Say it in your head if you're in a space you don't want to say it out loud, or there's some reason it's best not to. What's going on? Tell me a story about a time when you were genuinely, authentically, honestly, truthfully acknowledged for who you are. What you value. What's important to you. Who is the person that acknowledged? What did you do? How did that acknowledgement touch your heart? Talk about it. And if you don't have one that readily comes to mind, tell me what it would sound like if you did have one. Would it be a boss? Great job with the presentation. Great job with you showed up on time. This week you were able to figure out how to deal with all the pressures at home and still bring value here. You were able to get a dot in a circle, and you're going to go back for another one. I mean, just that action, I don't know if you realize, is a really big deal. It's a really big deal. I spent years spent years unable to tell. I don't know how to word it exactly, but I spent years where the messages from my brain to my eyes, to my hands, weren't working. I couldn't pick up a diamond. I couldn't put my finger where the eye is. I couldn't do it. And so the truth is that just the act, and it's not for those of us who lose the ability or were born without it or whatever your circumstances, to get you to a place where you end up truly realizing the gratitude available for being able to bisect a line, have your hand hold the pen to such a degree that it's the perfect tension in order for plastic to be picked up and placed down is a big deal. It's a really big deal. And I can tell you this, I don't know what the scientific research says, but I highly suggest that you massively celebrate all the things that you can do. All the things that you can do. The fact that you can get out of bed quickly if you can. The fact that you can figure out what you need to do with your body in order to get out of bed slowly. The fact that you have a bed to get out of. There's so much that we take for granted, and I'm okay with that. I think that's called a river. I'll find out. I don't usually like to do this river stuff while I'm on this angle. I'll do it when it's down, but I need to figure out how to make it so that the camera doesn't shake. Do you hear that? That was my stomach. I ate crap last night. Not crap. I didn't do that badly, but no, I actually did. I totally did. I don't know what I was thinking. I absolutely ate food that was so not good for me, so it's going to be upsetting my stomach. For a while. Let's put that over there. I don't know if I've told you the story yet. I'll throw in a couple here and there about the brain injury. Here's one. One of the ways that I learned. The type of information my doctor knew versus the type of information I needed my doctor to know in order to receive the proper health care, for me to be healthy, not for me to be quiet and not complain to the healthcare world about what was going on with me, which was what was happening a lot. One of the big things that I learned, or that got me to learn about the limitations of my healthcare providers, was they gave me a test, and it took them years to give me this test. First of all, it took over 3 years for my doctors to realize that I had completely lost the ability to smell, which is a very, in my brain injury situation because of the car accident, it would have been extremely helpful for the doctors to know. And the doctors didn't find out because they never asked the question until years later that I lost all the sounds of the accident. For a little while, I've reported the same story over and over, that all I felt during the actual physical accident was what I considered a whoosh. It felt kind of like you're underwater, you know? Well, none of my doctors, until I saw the brain specialists that were actually able to help me. I hope you might hear a dog bark because I think I saw a dog being walked outside the window. Oh! I didn't mean to lose that one. My doctors gave me a test. One of the tests was I needed to bisect a line. What that meant was that I needed to be able to tell them accurately, show them mark on the line, however the test specifically worked, the middle of the line, bisect, make 2 equal lines on either side. Bisect, section off the line. And I was unable to bisect the line. I was unable, my brain at the time was unable to accurately predict where my hand was in space compared to where my intention of where my hand was in space. And when I heard that I could not bisect a line, I stuck on that like white on rice. I used that example of being unable to bisect a line in as many doctor's appointments as I possibly could, because prior to the car accident, I designed and built a house. That was a cool one. Did you see that? I almost lost that one there. Let's see, we have H. We have S. I'll give it a shot. And I stuck on that because as a woman, I was massively disregarded by the medical community. Kind of like we are hearing how medical doctor, people in school, med students learn stupid, dumb, incorrect things. For example, I had to have carpal tunnel surgery, and the young anesthesiologist had no concept of how to change the dose and how to make the dose work for somebody that already had a brain injury. Are you insane? You're going to be putting drugs in somebody's system that's going to give them a brain bruise, and you don't understand the basic elements of what a brain bruise is, but you're a licensed anesthesiologist in the state of Texas? You crazy? Fortunately, my surgeon understood that the medical community is teaching and not teaching certain things. And so for my carpal tunnel surgery, we had to get an anesthesiologist that was not new from school, where you would think, oh, they're new, they know, they have all the information of the new. What's up in the medical world, kind of like we expect law students to know the most updated legal precedent because they're the people in the industry that have the most time to actually study, right? Anyway, I'm going off on tangents, probably because it's triggering, so my brain is just jumping all around. Anyway, my medical doctors didn't ask the right questions and tried to push me for years in taking anti-anxiety and anti-depression medication. I said, I am not a depressed person. This is only, I see this as a symptom after the car accident, and we need to fix this as though it's a symptom of the car accident, because it was never here before the car accident. And I had doctors who did not like that. They wanted to shut me up. Well, you're learning a lot about me. And one of the things I can tell you is this: getting me to shut up when I'm supposed to be, when I'm the only person in the room whose sole job is to have my back, is in no way the role I will take on for your comfort. No, I didn't know any of these words at the time. I didn't realize I was the only person in the room that had my back. Only through the last 16 years of falling through every single crack and interacting with some of the truly selfish, egotistical, incompetent people. Am I starting to learn that? When you are at the doctor's, when you are dealing with your health care, you are the only person whose sole responsibility, is to have your back. And don't think that you've been educated enough to be an expert in a field that takes thousands of people, thousands of years to learn. Instead, if you can, alter the way that you're viewing the situation. Just picture yourself on a balcony looking out a window, and that is your current point of view. That is the point of view. Point from where your view is. But that doesn't mean that you can't ask everybody else that you see, that is to your right, to your left, in dinghies in front, on other ships, on other balconies, for help from their point of view. From their point of view, with your information, you have every right to have people that are knowledgeable help you if that's their job to help you. You have zero right getting help from somebody when they don't owe you. That's wrong. What I just said is wrong. As a member of society, I believe part of being in society means that we have decided to be inside the walls of a community, and therefore we are required to help other people in the community. I'm getting way too deep. Chin deep. Chin deep too early. Alright. Maybe we'll get back to that tangent. Just to kind of bow it. Put a little bitty bow on there. You are responsible for your own health. You are your advocate. You are not required to learn everything to the degree of the masters. But when you have your own back, then it is your job, up to your ethics and standards, to understand. And my doctors wanted to give me drugs to shut me up. I tried to take them, and I know they promised, no, you'll still blah blah blah. No, not the drugs they gave me, and they knew it, and I found out. So I went to different doctors, And I started just carrying around my medical records, and anybody that would listen, that seemed knowledgeable, I asked, until I finally came across a retired professional soccer player. Jeff, what do I do with this? I know it does not feel like what I have is unique. There's no way in 2009 at the time, my car accident happened in 2006. By then, this was February, around Valentine's Day of 2009. I remember because the owner of one of the companies that had a piece of equipment that really helped me he loved his sports car, and I lived in Marina Del Rey at the time, and he lived less than 10 miles from my house. And based on the communication and in that world, I don't know how it is, but in that world at the time, we help each other. We learned that Western medicine was not up to speed on brain injuries, and I'm sorry to say you're still not. And just so everybody knows, I'm absolutely 100% biased. I want the clinical side to communicate more with the research side. That's one of the reasons why that's why you hear me talking about Dr. Huberman so much. It's because people like him are making the knowledge that the research side has that is so valuable to all of us, and we can't expect doctors to be up to speed on everything, but we can expect that if we share valuable information, data-rich information, that it's heard, and that doctors don't discount us because we happen to have ovaries. Well, I hope I didn't flash you. So you want to see what I see? Hey, gorgeous girl. There's my beautiful. Hello. What can I do? Well, there's a lot of light there. Let me see if I can cover that up. Is that helpful? Look. Oh, she's my girl to make sure that I take my eye breaks. I take all my eye breaks because of you. But I'm gonna have to go cuddle with her. Yes, I love you. What? Oh, am I not close enough? Okay, I gotta go cuddle. I'll be back.